We have to, maybe for season 2, I want to get, though, the things that clasp onto the table and they hold the mic for it. Sometimes I don't have words. What do you mean you have them?
I have them.
In the bin?
Not that big.
You have things to clip onto here and hold it for us.
We did it for your podcast.
Why haven't we done it this whole time? Everybody's been complaining to us about. Update. Season 2, we'll have some more technology. I can't believe it wasn't me gatekeeping, by the way. It was definitely this co-host over here gatekeeping beautiful equipment. I'm so glad I didn't just buy it, because if I bought them, I was like, oh my God, look what I bought. And he'd be like, oh, I have those. I'd be like, okay. Okay.
Look what Tyler brought me.
And if you guys don't know what that is, where have you been? What are you doing with your life? I warned everybody. I said, like, you're going to get addicted. And I think people thought I was joking, and I was, like, being silly. But it actually does. Like, I was out with, like, Savannah last night, and her mom was like, I've been craving one ever since I had one.
It's the, you taste it in your saliva when you think about it.
And it's good for you.
It's so good for you. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, no sugar, 20 calories, 160 milligrams of caffeine.
I asked for a 30-pack.
She did. That's in the TikTok video. I literally put, I was like, speaking of how she texts me, look. And Angelina, I was like, a fixer-upper. And she texted me back in capital letters, what did you do to me? I'm like, fixed you right up.
Fixer-upper did it.
Slay.
Tyler Kidd did it again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, all right. That was a fun little start to the episode. This episode's going to be... You saw we have keywords. Angelina's doing the sponsors today. Good morning, get well soon, family. You would think this was episode 1.
Okay, go again.
Okay.
Let me just do the countdown because you're confusing me. Okay. 5, 4,
we upped the 2 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
Happy Sunday. You threw me off.
Okay.
Good morning, get well soon, family.
And happy Sunday.
This is your host, Tyler Kidd.
And your co-host, Angelina Messa.
And whether you're watching us here on YouTube, hey, or you're listening on all of our streaming platforms linked in our bio, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, we have all the options for you. Welcome back to another episode of the Get Well Soon podcast, episode 14. Literally crazy. And we're counting down to season 2. Da-da-da. You guys are in for a freaking treat. If you've enjoyed season 1 so far, you are in for a freaking treat. But episode 14 is going to be all about how do I love myself. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get real authentic. I mean, we always are, but we're going to get a little below the surface level today. As always, this podcast is something's in my eye. As always, this possum. Okay, cool. This possum is sponsored. This podcast is sponsored by New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness. If you've ever wanted to elevate your life, not only mentally, but just in all areas of your life, because when you start to work on yourself in one bit, it kind of bleeds out into the rest of your life. At New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness, they offer an alternative approach to traditional therapy. So you're not going in and being told, like, you know, you're this box, you check this box, and this is what you can do about it in the form of a little tiny pill or whatever. Nothing against prescriptions, but I have found as somebody who personally goes here that they give you the different approaches and methods to naturally find out the real reason on why things are going on. Why are you truly feeling that anger, that sadness, that depression? What causes that? Is it something from your childhood? Is it something from your teenage years? Where is it stemming from? And then they give you ways to find mental clarity and to have those perspective shifts that change your mood, that change you from looking at everything in a negative lens. I guess you could say they clear your lenses almost. Like they show you the different versions of what your perspective could be, if that makes sense, because a lot of the things are just about like perspective and experiences, and it's just like a nice hand-holding experience, I think you could say, versus, you know, being hammered down on like, you're depressed, you're sad, you need to be on Lexapro, like, yeah. You know what I mean? As always, I always say, like, I really will never be depressed again, because it's not that I'm taking a medication to fix my depression. It's I was given the resources to put the work in to change my mindset to where depression can't sit in my mind. Like, it does not enter. It's not allowed. Miss Stupid pops up sometimes. And sometimes I get angry and sad and like frustrated or whatever, but I'll never be like, you know,
so sorry.
Anyway, thank you, New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness, for sponsoring this podcast.
Oh my god. I'm going to hell.
Hell is hot. All right. Well, let's dive in. I think
Why would you do?
Because I didn't want to have to give a trigger warning so early on. Like, I just kind of wanted to go into it. And if you just act it out, I feel like it's not as triggering as saying it.
Okay.
You know, like, it can be a lot of things.
All right.
Oh,
Move on.
move on. Okay. Check sponsorship. Next, we have something is really wrong with my left eye today. I could use an eye patch. Today's episode, no, that's not what, that's not.
Wait, what?
Okay. We are at, something's really wrong with the left eye. Like, it might just start, like, it might fall out.
Probably a mascara or something in there.
Bullshit. I'm over it. All right. If we just keep going, I'll pretend it's not happening. But I actually am going really blurry in my left eye. There's always something with me in my eyes. I'm always...
Don't stare at the light.
Maybe that's what I was doing. I don't know. But it's time for our weekly check-in. Maybe different morning experiences, but still somehow on the same level of pit.
Pit.
What happened this morning is about to be my pit.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Yeah, life's going.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't know. I just always complain, so I don't want to complain.
So then take this moment to try and be positive.
Positive thoughts.
I was getting asked about how you did on your exam.
Oh, I did good, guys.
Yeah.
I did good.
She did good.
Yeah.
She's gonna pass this semester.
I did really good. And once this is out, wait, will it be once this is out? No.
This comes out this Sunday. This is...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're
Okay. I have a final exam coming up in 2 days. So that's stressful to the max. But other than that, you know, I've been really trying to be more positive. I try to wake up and be happier. It does not work like that every day, but you know.
As long as you're making the effort, it'll build up. It'll add. It's like when people say, like, change adds up. That kind of stuff adds up.
And I started therapy.
Angelina now comes to New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness. Do you want to talk about your first initial experience, or do you kind of want to wait for a few more sessions to, like, give a little deep dive?
Yeah.
But yes, a round of applause. We have been making jokes about you needing to come to therapy, and she finally did. Counseling. I think they actually do not prefer to be, considered therapist and therapy. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be considered counseling and counselors. Yeah. So I got to work on that. But yeah, she's here.
Yeah. So that's a huge step.
Matt was excited. I was like, Angelina started. He was like, really? He was like, who did she say? And I was like, I don't know her name.
Much needed. So it went good. We're going weekly. And yeah, life's great. How about you?
Life's good. I'm like...
You're vibing.
I am vibing.
You're at like a very high peak right now. And it's just getting higher.
I just think, like, I don't believe I'm going to have a plateau. Like, that's not the goal. You know, like, people peak and then they kind of like, no.
No, I really don't think you're going to.
No, thank you. I just think my peak's just going to be never ending.
If you don't get your car done, though, you're going to have a plateau.
I know. I have some, like, little stupid shit I have to get done. Like, get my car battery switched, whatever. Who has the time? I clearly don't. But everything's been good. Business is really doing good. The only thing is just, like, I can't wait for TikTok to go back to its regular algorithm. My For You page sucks. Like, it's a shame that I have to go on the podcast TikTok to get good TikTok.
I know. I be resharing things. I'm like,
oh shit, I'm on the wrong one. Yeah, no, me too.
But when I'm on my TikTok, it's
fucking
like
bullshit. I'm like, what is happening? And it really is true. They are pushing content out so late. Like, I had videos stuck in the 200s, and like, I'll go back and it'll be in the 2000s, like a week and a half later, and I'm like,
so
it is weird.
At TikTok, what are you doing?
I don't know what they're doing ever. And they keep asking me to pay to promote my video. I'm not paying. Like,
Yeah,
what am
no.
I, a fraud? If people ain't watching it, people ain't fucking watching it, and I'm still gonna create content. But no, everything's good. Everything with the podcast, I'm loving it. Gearing up for the reality show. Excited about that. I'm not really nervous. I'm just gonna win. I just watched their summer season and like their challenges and stuff, and I'm like, bet, got it, check me.
I cannot wait to watch.
I can't believe I have to sleep outside on the ground. At least they're letting us bring sleeping bags, but like I'm pretty sure you have to. The first challenge is like how you get tarps and food maybe and stuff like that. And like I'm only allowed one pair of underwear, so we're just free balling. Because if you think I'm about to wear the same pair of panties for 5 days in the woods,
Yeah,
no.
I free ball half the time anyway.
Me too.
So.
Me too. But yeah, that's exciting. Just apartment hunting is fun, stressful, but you know, I really don't tend to get too stressful when I have my mind set on something.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited though about that because I think once I'm in my own space and I have more space to do like the things that I want to do, I'm going to even peak higher.
Yeah.
And I think when I get my apartment, I'm going to go back onto YouTube and do like weekly vlogs, stuff like that. But yeah, just kind of
Vibing.
life's lifing.
Yeah, life is life.
Life is lifing. And for you too.
Yeah,
We're just
getting there.
We're getting there. And our another thing too that's going really good is our summer merch. People are obsessed. We're getting photos of our summer merch in bars and stuff like that down at the shore. That was really cool.
Love our summer merch, and it means so much. When I got like pictures sent to me,
Isn't it unreal?
Yeah, I was like,
Because like you made it on like we sat there for hours and made it from our brains, and then we put it into a physical T-shirt, and then people are out and about wearing it.
Yeah, like what the hell?
And it was so funny to see one of your friends who ordered one, and then like 2 weeks later, her mom and her sister they ordered the shirts too, and I was like, that means that they saw that shirt and were like, hey, where'd you get that from, girlfriend? And like that's such a good feeling too.
Yeah. So now we're getting deep.
Yeah, I just jumped right into it when I made these outlines.
Yeah.
But I wanted to start off not necessarily negative, but I wanted to start off kind of like hard and then getting like to like positive type of things. So this episode is obviously all about how do I love myself, and some of the themes that we have that we want to talk about are like insecurities, self-love, and confidence. And so I had asked Angelina to touch on 3 things like each of us is insecure of that they won't be by the end of the episode. And what I mean by that is for us, and when you guys are done watching this video, I hope that by the end of this episode, you leave with a feeling of like, you know what? That's right. Fuck that shit. Fuck the insecurities. Fuck all the negative thoughts. I'm that bad bitch. Or guys too. Like this podcast isn't just for the girls. The guys too.
Yeah.
People like to pretend that like men don't have feelings. And in fact, I would say they are actually very emotional. Very emotional.
Very emotional.
And so guys have insecurities too. Like wake up, flex those muscles, smack them pecs. I don't really know what guys do in the morning to feel good about themselves. Swing a swing if you want to play helicopter. Like I don't fucking know.
Oh my God.
But by the end of this episode,
Please be 18 or older if you're watching this.
viewer discretion was at the beginning of the video. I mean, I don't think anything gets worse than
Swing that thing.
like feel good about yourself. That just made me think of a conversation I want to have one day, but not on this podcast. I just need to have this debate. I need to talk to. I just want to know who built it like that. I was thinking about this in the car yesterday. Who built it like that? Like who's the architect? You don't think
What?
the swing thing?
Oh.
Like what made it? Like who designed it like that?
Well, listen, back in the day, I feel like statues and stuff. Are you talking about that statue?
No, I'm talking about God and why he made the penis and balls look like that. If you want me to say it full out, because I wasn't going to.
I thought you were talking about that historical statue.
Oh no, they kind of all have it, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, no, when I said architect, I meant like who created humans. Like, what made you think when you made the first man? Like, okay, back to a serious note. Let's reel it in, Tyler. But yeah, I just by the end of this episode, I really wanted to just be like a full hour of you feeling good about yourself, and by doing that, I think we I think by us sharing like our experiences with insecurities and stuff like that and how we
Yeah.
get self-confidence and that kind of things, it could lead the way for other people too. Because there's no reason for anybody to ever be insecure. Like there's literally nothing in I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. There's nothing in cement that should ever make somebody feel insecure. No. But it's the things around us that do. So do you want to
list my few? So we're each going to list.
Just we had like 3 things that, you know, we might carry insecurities with.
Yeah.
That we don't want to or that we shouldn't.
I feel like everyone has this insecurity, physical insecurity. I feel like it's very hard for people to, definitely with social media, this is the downfall of social media, is like people editing pictures and people not realizing like they really don't look like that in person. So I definitely still struggle with my physical appearance. Yeah. I don't need to dive into that right now.
But we will be diving into it.
Yes. And then I am a perfectionist. Everything needs to be done my way, and everything needs to be perfect. And if it's not, listen, I'm getting better at it, but it's just a huge insecurity of mine. And I know that's like weird to say because I know it causes like conflict between other people and things like that. And then another insecurity is school. I don't know how to put it this way. Like,
confidence in yourself that you're able to perform well at school.
Yes. There you go. That's
Matt, I'm taking your job.
Yep.
My insecurities are a little like different, I guess you could say, because I've gotten to the point in my self-love and like healing journey where I don't have, like when I look in the mirror, I don't see insecurities anymore, which took a very, 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 very long time. But it's very doable. Like even I talk about this, like even on my bad days when I wake up and I look at myself and the moment like I even like were to go get an insecurity, my brain now just is like, bitch, get out of here. Come on now.
Yeah.
Be a bad bitch every day, even on our bad days. Like, and if I were to base myself off of everybody I see on social media and everybody around me, like 100% I could have insecurities there on physical appearance.
Yeah.
But I really have programs in my brain that like, how boring would it be if I looked like another single human being? And I find it I was going to say hot, but like, I don't want to say it like that, but like, I find it very...
It is hot to be different.
And, you know, and I find it like, I think it's attractive to look at myself in a way of like, nobody looks like me. Nobody, you know, is built like me, like whatever. People have similar bodies, but, and then it always can be like a work in progress. Like if you do have, have negative thoughts about yourself physically, you know, there's things you can do about that. You can go to the gym and you can work out in your home and you can pay for it. There's many options. But I have being too bright, as in like I get insecure or I get really nervous or have the fear of when I don't dim my light, because I for my whole life was always dimming myself down to be like digestible for everybody. And so like when I want to be 1,000% and I want to like stand out and show up, I get like insecure, like, oh, what if everyone's gonna think I'm annoying, or oh, what if everyone's gonna think that I'm cocky, or like I didn't, like, you know, stuff like that. And then I do have like the insecurity. Mine are kind of like fears that build insecurity, but the fear of being confident kind of falls in the same thing of like, I never want to be perceived as like, oh, you're cocky, or oh, you're this, because like when I was super depressed, I mean, obviously I was acting out in certain ways, but everybody would always be like, oh, you know, you're beautiful. Like you act like it, or you act like this, or you act like that. And I was literally like in my brain, like I actually hate myself. So now that I don't, I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know. I just started talking about this in counseling. I don't know why I'm so scared to show people like who I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then friendships and relationships, I carry insecurities with, just because I tended to surround myself with shitty relationships and shitty friendships my whole life. And so now that I'm starting to get like really good adult friendships and just really good, genuine, supportive friendships, I have like insecurities of like, oh, are they going to want to stop hanging out with me? Or like, oh, are they talking about me behind my back, or like stuff like that that I'm working on. Yeah, those are just some of a lot of mine is just like being myself, like being true to myself, because now I know what it is, and now I'm like, oh, I'm kind of scared to like do it. What if people judge it? Blah blah blah. Like we said in the last episode, the only opinion and the only perspective and the only everything that you need at the end of the day is your own. You cannot control how people perceive you or what they say about you, but you can control what you say about yourself and how you perceive yourself. And that is actually going to be the mindset that gets rid of my insecurities. So we're working on it. But do you want to talk about what it means to be insecure?
Yeah. So this is
Via Google.
Yeah, via Google. Actually, I made sure it was a .org website, not a .com.
I got it from...
This one?
You put it in there.
Yeah.
Did you put that in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I was printing these last night, I was like...
I made sure it wasn't just .com. Like, I wanted, like,
Period.
Period.
We have some stats at the end. I got them from Forbes Health.
Okay.
I feel like it was pretty accurate.
Okay, so what does it mean to be insecure? A feeling of inadequate?
Don't wait. I got it.
Inadequacy?
No. Please stop. I got it. Just wait. Let me.
Wait, I literally
inadequacy. Inadequacy.
Yep. Lack of self-confidence and inability to cope.
Accompanied.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm in first.
We're playing popcorn. Accompanied
by general uncertainty and anxiety about one's goals, abilities, or relationships with others.
So I just want to emphasize that it starts off with the word a feeling, because like I said, insecurities are not an actual physical realistic thing. It is simply a thought that is in your brain based on things that you're perceiving from the outside world. If you do not perceive the outside world and also another thing I think too is like a competition thing. Like I don't compete with people, and it's good in my friendships and my relationships. I will never compete with you. I will never try to compete with you. I will never try and one up anybody, because I'm very much in my own lane. Nobody can compete with me, and if that makes sense, like everybody, when you are not worried about yourself, but when you are in your own lane and you're putting in the self-love to yourself and everything like that, you don't even want to look at anybody else's lane. You just want to, I'm vibing on mine. And you have the awareness that nobody is you, and nobody will do the things that you do like you do. That's why there's billions of people in the world that all do different things and are all good at different things, because we are not the same in the way of, like what you bring to the table and stuff like that. And the lack of self-confidence and the inability to cope, I think that has to do with the whole not being okay with the fact that you're not going to be the same as everybody else, but not perceiving it as a bad thing, perceiving it as like, that's the best goddamn thing in the world. So like with your knowledge with school, you know that you're good at school. You know that you studying, like you put in the time. Mm-hmm. But if you are like looking around at maybe other people, how they're scoring, or what other people are telling you, like if you hit this, that's when you've achieved, or like that's when you're being successful, or like stuff like that. I think if you were to, I don't know, and it also could be like looking inwards and still seeing insecurities, or feeling like you're not at the place that you want to be, so it makes you insecure. But something I always say is you have to remove doubt out of your life. Like as you're doing self-love, you have to take doubt. Like when you want something, you tell yourself you're getting it, and that's it. That's the end of the story. Nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can tell you, I don't care if you try telling me, that I can't do this or I can't do that. Taylor Swift has one of the best speeches I've ever heard about this topic, and I wish I could remember it word for word. But she says like, oh, wait, let me see if I can pull it up in text real quick, because the way she worded it, I just was watching it the other day. Relax. Of what it means, like when, like, hold on, Taylor Swift. Oh my God, I can't find it. She has a bunch of speeches. I didn't, whatever. But it was about how you can't allow other people's doubt.
I can hear you.
To like make you doubtful. Like if I listened to what everybody said about me when I first started social media, if I listened to what everybody said about me when I first started coming out with projects and photo shoots, I would not be where I'm at today. But when people told me that, I literally was like, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
I want it. I'm getting it. And that's what you should always tell yourself. When you want something, I'm getting it. End of story. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
And
I feel like you've helped me in that way because you have so much like you were just like F the negativity.
Yeah.
And if I didn't start doing some of the things that you've like taught me to do, like say like F you miss stupid, all those things, then I really think I would be like in a deeper hole right now.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know.
Oh, love that. Love you.
Yeah, love you too.
But that's also why it's good to surround yourself, I think, with
Yeah.
people that you want the similar life. And if, say, you were just hanging around negative people and you were to come to them with like the things you come to me with, they would share negative feedback right back to you. And like, you could have given up on social media. You could have, given up on things like that. And that's why I always say, like, I try not to compete. I don't compete with my friends. Not that I try. I do not compete with my friends.
I don't think you're a true friend if you try to compete with your friends.
But I think a lot of people do it sometimes subconsciously too. This is why I don't tell people things, like even some of my friends when I'm doing good things, because at the end of the day, when people are not happy with themselves, they could love you as a friend and like be a genuine friend to you. But when they hear you doing really good, there's that envy and that jealousy that could subconsciously develop. Sometimes it's on purpose, sometimes it's not. I feel like I've definitely had friends to where I could feel like the jealousy seep out, and I'm like, ew, where's that coming from? Why? Like, but some people.
I'm not that kind of person. Like, when my friends do good, like, I make sure they know.
It means you have, like, a good, genuine happiness within you.
And I never understood people like that who...
I used to be jealous when I was, like, miserable. Like, on why everybody got everything and stuff like that. But it doesn't get you anywhere.
No, it doesn't.
And it puts a strain on your friendships.
And I also think who you surround yourself with is
going to play a really big role.
Really big role. And also, if you surround yourself with people that are all jealous, all negative, things like that, that's how you're gonna be.
You're gonna be all jealous, all negative all the time, versus if you find those friends, those people that uplift you and they're showing you confidence all the time, and they're showing you how to be 110%, even when some of those little Miss Stupid thoughts come in and how to get rid of her. You're eventually going to do the same, and then the whole friend group is like that. And I think that's really important. I remember like growing up when my mom or anybody would be like, you are who you hang out with, you surround. I'd be like, no, I'm not. I'm my own person. But like,
I used to say that
all the time. And like now that I'm an adult, I'm like, holy crap! Like you are who you surround yourself with.
100%.
Before going to the next topic, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything, because like this is like insecurities. Like I just don't want anybody to feel insecure. There's literally no reason. There's no reason. If your insecurity comes from looking at something, a picture or whatever, and it's like, oh, I wish mine looked like that or whatever, that's not a perfect image. Like nobody is perfect. So nobody's teeth are perfect. Nobody's eyes are perfect. Nobody's nose is perfect. Nobody's forehead is perfect. Coming from a girl with a little bit of, not noggin, okay? You hear that alarm? That's telling you to knock it the fuck off. Nobody's hair is perfect. Nobody's tits are perfect. Nobody's body's perfect. Nobody's cooch is perfect. Nobody's wiener, ding-a-ling, thing hanging, swanging, whatever the fuck I called it earlier. Nobody's legs are perfect. Nobody's cellulite is perfect. Nobody's toes are perfect. Nobody's nails are perfect. Nobody's life's perfect. Nobody's anything is perfect.
Nothing's perfect.
Nothing is perfect in life. Please just put that in your brain. Nothing is perfect in life. No. Society might tell you that something is perfect. Society is lying to you.
Yeah.
Because society likes to lie. Okay? Society's also not perfect, very clearly. So just like the next time you see something, you're like, oh my God, that's so it's not. No. It's beautiful, but you are beautiful as well in many different ways. Yeah. And not everything is physical either. Self-love.
It takes a while. A long time.
I guess, well, another thing too is that
it's day by day.
And you don't perfect it. That's another thing that'll never be perfect. And you're going to spend the rest of your life just bettering yourself. You should be bettering yourself by a minimum of 1% every day.
Yes.
And by doing that, that's all you need to do. So, and bettering yourself could be like waking up in the morning and trying to be positive. It might not go perfect, but you woke up trying to be positive. Boom, you're better by 1% the next day. Okay, I woke up to try and be positive, and even though crappy things happened, I turned my afternoon around. So I brought positivity into my afternoon. You're bettering by 1%. The next following day, I woke up, my morning went good, my afternoon went good, and I ate a healthy snack. You're bettering by 1%. I made my bed this morning. My first act of self-love and my first habit I ever got was making my bed. I never used to. And so when I first started this journey, I never used to make my bed.
No, me either.
Like just roll out and just be like a mess. And I saw somebody say like the easiest first step you can take into self-love and habit is making your bed, because
I'm not kidding. It is the
life-changing. It is life-changing. So if you do not wake up every morning and make your bed, just start trying it. Like just start doing it. And now I make my bed even when I'm running late, even when I don't want to. And it's quick. Boom, boom, boom. I make it. It's done. And then when you come home, it's nice because your spaces are a physical representation of your mental health. So when you're coming from either a stressful day at work or like whatever, and you come home to a nice made bed, I'm telling you, it is an act of self-love. It feels so freaking good. And even if you don't necessarily have like a full-on bed, let's say you could have an air mattress, you could have anything, set it up, prop the little pillows up, fold the blanket on it. I'm telling you, it is such a nice feeling. It's like when you go into a hotel or an Airbnb for the first time and you walk in and you're like, like the bed is made. It's nice. It's giving good vibes. I think there's so many different things you can do when it comes to self-love. And
start even like writing yourself little notes. I feel like that's huge. Like just write on a sticky note and put it on your mirror, and then you wake up to it and it's like, oh, that little reminder. Or one big thing, we did learn this in a past episode. What was that episode?
I'm surprised I barely remembered this episode number.
Yeah. So. I don't know. Episode ? Said, say I love you to yourself. That takes 2 seconds out of your day. Just look at the mirror.
Literally will look at... Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, look in the mirror and just say, I love you, Angelina, or I love you. I don't know.
So I don't say my name. I know she's over supposed to. I can't do that. Yeah, I just feel like I feel like I'm disassociating when I do that. But I literally will look in the mirror, even if I'm passing in a mirror, and I'll step back and be like, you bad bitch, like, period. And I could look fucking crazy. I could look crazy, and I'm gonna look in that mirror and be like, yeah, you bad bitch, you look like a shit show, but you're a bad bitch. I think the first thing that I started making the bed. That was my first thing getting into habit, because building habits is really good in terms of self-love too. And then the second thing was looking at myself on my worst days in the mirror and finding all the things that I loved about myself, and then eventually I just, like I say, when I look in the mirror, I do not have a single bad thought. And there could be a reason for a bad thought. I could be looking crazy. I could be looking whatever. And then another thing too is like the more comfortable I got staring at myself in the mirror and like things like that.
Yeah.
Something I still have a problem with, but something I really had a problem with was, taking compliments. And accepting them. And so now when people give me compliments, I take them and I believe them. And I'm like, yes. Like I don't try to get, that was another thing. I stopped getting defensive about compliments.
Yeah.
Something that Matt had taught me really early on is that when you're rewiring your brain and you're changing things like that, it's going to be really hard. So like, I could say that, right? And somebody could be listening to this podcast and go, you know what? Next time somebody gives me a compliment, I'm not going to get defensive. Like I'm going to accept it. And the next time they get a compliment, they get defensive. And then afterwards they have the thought of like, oh, damn it. Like I told myself I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
That is actually an amazing first step. Even when you have the accountability and awareness after something happens, because then you're going to tell yourself, okay, next time I'm going to remember, and it happens again and you forget, you get defensive. And it's like, oh my God, I forgot again. And then eventually that third, fourth time happens and you remember like, I'm going to accept this compliment, and you do. And then you start to build the habit. And that is what the rewiring of the brain is. So when it comes to like self-love and things like that,
it takes a while.
It does. It's just practice makes almost perfect. Not perfect, but it makes almost perfect.
Imperfect.
Mm-hmm. And
you don't want to be perfect.
I mean,
have you ever watched that show that it's a kids show, The Ugly Dolls, and they go into the perfect world?
Barbie?
No, not Barbie.
I loved that movie. That movie made me cry in theaters. No, I can only think of The Ugly Duckling.
Oh my god,
And The Ugly Duckling is actually a very good storyline for this message that we're saying.
Yeah. It's called The Ugly Dolls. So it's these ugly dolls that
But see, I don't even like that. Like the fact that they're called ugly.
Yeah, but like they don't care. Like they just live their life. Like they're just
But why are they
happy
ugly?
because they're not in the perfect world.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Why I don't like that?
If you watch the movie, it would be good.
But why is it called Ugly Dolls? Like the movie's literally calling them ugly.
I don't know.
But they're not ugly.
I'm not the creator.
Look it up. Who is it? It says it right there in director.
Kelly Asbury.
Kelly Asbury, I want to chat with you. I just want to know why you did that.
Okay, but anyway, so
They can be called the Misfits.
They go into this ugly world. I mean, perfect world. And who wants to be in the perfect world? It looked boring.
Well, it is boring. There's no funds. There's no funsies.
And everyone looks the same. Who all wants to look the same?
That's what I'm
I know
saying.
For sure
like,
I don't want to look the same as you.
I want to
Not in like
who wants to step into a room and be like, oh, is that is that person or is that person? No, I want to walk into a room and people be like, that's Tyler fucking Kidd, and I'm like, period. And like, I love my favorite types. This is another good, like, when I say like you want to be like yourself and stand out, I love the text where I get like a TikTok or something sent to me and was like, this made me think of you, or somebody texts me and like, this is what like I always think about you when I think about this. For instance, wine. A lot of people send me a lot of wine stuff and they're like, I thought about you when I saw this. And I'm like, period, because you guys know, like, I am wine. Me and wine are one. Not an alcoholic, everybody. I just enjoy like a glass a night a glass a night.
I don't know what quote you're thinking of.
No, I'm making it up myself. I'm the writer. I'm the author.
Okay.
A glass a night. What rhymes with night? A glass a night so life doesn't bite. That's what we'll say.
That's cute.
I'm gonna put it on a t-shirt. Don't play with me. But yeah, self-love. Those were like my first two things when it came to it. And it took a while. Like I would still fall back and have really bad days. And then eventually, just like how it's how you practice anything. If you're practicing something at work, you're practicing something in a sport, you do it enough times and you keep sticking with it and you don't give up on it, you eventually get better at it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with your mental. Like, I can't stress that enough. You have the awareness, you have the accountability, and you have the motivation. That's all you need. And eventually, over time, I think I first started my self-love, healing, and growth journey 2021, 2024. It's been 3 years, and I'm finally getting to like that really solid place with myself. And now I am now learning how to be like open, like not open, but like show myself love, like to show that I love myself and to show that I'm confident and stuff like that without, feeling like I have to like make myself small.
Yeah.
We would like to thank our sponsor, I Want Whatever Mystery Box, for sponsoring this podcast episode. For those of you who love a good laugh and don't mind a little disappointment, this is the box for you. It's perfect for gifting friends or family, or just reminding yourself that sometimes it's okay to expect nothing and still be surprised. This is good for people like me who like to shop, but sometimes don't want a reason. So there's no reason or means behind it. Like you're getting a mystery box and you're going to be satisfied and you're going to be disappointed at the same time.
Introducing the Whatever Mystery Box, the only box on the market that guarantees you'll question every life choice you've ever freaking made.
Oh, that's fun. I love that.
I like that.
Thank you. Make me question myself even more than I already do. If you're tired of knowing exactly what you're getting for your hard-earned money and you're ready to embrace the chaotic, unpredictable mess that is the Whatever Mystery Box, you are in the right place. The Whatever Box offers a 0% satisfaction guarantee. And yes, you heard that right. You are not guaranteed satisfaction. It's the mystery box full of 100% pure whatever. You get what you get and you don't get upset. If you're ready to dive into the abyss of the unpredictability, head over to the iwantwhatever.com, which is linked in our bios, and use the code GetWellSoon soon at checkout to get $10 off your first box. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on this. That is code GetWellSoon at iwantwhatever.com, linked in our bio. Something else that is really good when it comes to building your confidence and your self-love is faking it until you make it. And there's this very viral clip of Rihanna, and somebody says, like, ask her question kind of like, yeah, and it was like, how do you feel like the best on maybe like your worsties or whatever? And she was like, you fake it till you make it, baby. And I was like, that stuck with me, because one, that shows you that even celebrities, people that you look at in this perfect imagery or whatever that's not real, you look at them and you're like, I want to be like them. I want whatever. Like, Rihanna is hot, like beautiful, gorgeous. She has been since she stepped on the stage. She sings. Now she slays in the skincare, makeup, lingerie department. Like, that's somebody you would look at and be like, they have everything. They are everything, like whatever. And no, they still don't. But you wouldn't know that because she fakes it till you make it. Because how I said on like the days where I wake up and I look at myself, I'm like, but I tell myself like, no, you're a bad bitch. I'm faking it until I make it, until I feel better about myself again. And it just...
You never want someone to know your insecurities either, because I feel like they can use them against you. And
nobody better use ours from earlier.
Yeah.
That was us opening up. Yeah, that was really sentimental, you guys. I liked that, though. You really don't want to. I think I think if you're expressing your insecurities in the way that we are right now to help others and like to have deeper conversations and to allow people to have the conversation back, that's good. Yeah. But you don't want to have your insecurities.
Don't just share it to the world just because.
You know what I mean? Because most people will use it against you, even if, things like that. And I think if you're constantly always talking about these fake insecurities, and I say fake because I mean it to say in a way of like, it's like a thought or a feeling, but like these things that don't really exist. If you're constantly thinking it to yourself and then also telling it out into the world, words are very powerful. Word of mouth is very powerful. If you're constantly portraying it to other people and yourself, that's going to be your reality, and you are going to be stuck with that insecurity.
And you don't want that to be your reality. You want to speak into the world
how you truly, your dream, your dream perspective and perception, and in my dream life, if I like took away everything, all the insecurities, all of the limitations, whatever, how you look or how you'd want to view yourself is how you should think you look and is how you should say it. And there's so many people who, like a lot of spiritual people would tell you, when you do that, there's women who have showed the Wizard Liz on YouTube. Love her. I showed you her. She, and a lot of her videos, she shows her before and after of her faces, and I think she maybe got like a 0.5 in her lips or whatever, but her entire face changed. And she said, because I started envisioning myself and how I wanted to look, and over time of always just convincing myself I looked beautiful, I look like this, whatever, she was like, my face changed. Like, and it does.
It's also because you're stressing about a way that you look or feel constantly. And I don't think people understand how damaging that is to a body. That causes other things like inflammation or even acne. Like, that's where a lot of acne comes from.
Yes, it does.
Is from stress. So things like that, when you're thinking those things, it really, really does affect your physical...
Your body listens to your brain and your words.
Well-being. Like, you're attached head to toe. So everything you do to your body, everything you think is how it's going to look.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. I talked about this before. The first 20-something pounds I lost was not dieting. It was not working out. It was simply changing my mindset. And one of the things I told myself was I was skinny. I literally was like, girl, you're skinny. I wasn't. But I told myself I was. And there's this a science, I don't want to say a scientist, but maybe he's a doctor, I'm pretty sure. He was like maybe a surgeon it was. I don't remember. He was doing a interview and he said, you actually can lose weight. Now, you're not going to lose 200 pounds. You're not whatever putting the work in, but you can lose a sustainable amount of weight by telling yourself that you are losing weight, by telling yourself that you're
Because I also think that's huge, because when you tell yourself you're losing weight and that you're skinny, whatever, you're also you're aware of how you feel, so you're watching without even knowing how much you're eating or what you're doing to your body. Like you're probably laying there and is like, I'm skinny, and then get out of bed and then go for a walk, like,
You know,
without
there's
even
things like that.
realizing that you're doing it, because you're just telling yourself.
And I don't want this conversation to come across that we're trying to have like a unhealthy conversation about weight or whatever.
No.
Because we're not. But I do want to say, because I don't know if you're noticing it right now on TikTok, there's this trend of so I saw everybody talking about this girl apparently that gets on TikTok, and her advice is very mentally damaging. So I went on her TikTok page and I didn't agree. She's just talking about how to eat healthier, how to watch where you're eating, like whatever. And everyone's like, you can eat whatever you want. Like if you want McDonald's fries, eat those McDonald's fries, and like whatever. Yes. No, 100% that is true. If you want 5 large McDonald's fries, go to McDonald's and you can have 5 large McDonald's fries. But you have to have the awareness that that is not good for you and that it's not going to do your body good at all. And what really opened my eyes to it was going to Amsterdam, because it became very apparent to me that the way we eat here in America is sickening. It is sickening. Their food, and you can tell it in America, they're 100% poisoning us. I would just like to say that with their foods and stuff like that. We are 100%. No wonder we're all freaking sick all the time. And no wonder we have all these illnesses, because the stuff that they're making us digest here is garbage. And they know it. And so you go to a country like when I went to Amsterdam, the food tasted different. It tasted better. It was cleaner.
But even McDonald's over there
is different. You can't get the same. Yeah, they don't give you the same portions and stuff like that. Like in the terms of the like menu,
how they make it.
Yeah, no, it does taste different. It tastes different. And another thing too is like sodas and stuff there are made with real juice. So they taste different, but they still taste good. Like our Fanta Orange compared to theirs. That's another thing going on TikTok right now, is everybody being like, why does the U.S. Fanta Orange look like that? And everybody's like, the U.S. people are like, the fuck are you talking about? It's Fanta. No, they know what the fuck they're talking about, because theirs is made with orange juice. Ours is made with gasoline. Like literally, I don't know what's in ours. And the way people eat there is so much different. Like our friend group, I think, finished our appetizers, our meals, and our dessert before the party of 8 next was finished their dinners, and they got the dinners before we did.
In America.
Sorry. Go ahead. We had it. Roger.
3, 2, 1. In America.
I forgot I gotta put that in my bag, in the podcast bag. In America.
So in America, when we go out to dinner, it's a rush, I feel like. When I eat dinner with my grandparents, or when I used to eat dinner with my great-grandparents, they did everything. It would take us like 2.5 hours to get through dinner, because we would do like our soup, and then our salad, and our pasta, then our meats, and
take your time with it.
Take your time. Like that's how they were. And now I go out to dinner and I'm in and out in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's also crazy too, in other countries where they don't work for tips, it shows. Like, you're not being like rushed out, things like that. It's also, they're very hard to get your check. Like we'll be waiting for like half an hour and be like, can we get our check? Like just because they're not worried about rushing the tables. But no, and the portions are different too, but you would eat your portion and like not feel sick. I experienced it one time in Philly. I went to Noche in Philly, loved it there. If you ever want like a nice, good dining experience in the city, and they were bringing out their like plate, like their platters, and mind you, I was sharing it, so these were like shareables. And the portions, when we saw them, we were like, what the fuck is this? We maybe had 6 different like meal things or whatever, and by the end of it we were both like, holy crap, like we were full, satisfied, and did not feel like crap at all. And I was like, that's crazy. Like really, our portions are so bad for us, like so bad. It's and people, you can have body positivity and self-love and body acceptance while still holding yourself accountable that being 300 pounds is not a fulfilling way of life. Your body being so sick to the point that you can't do everything in life it's not good for you. It's not. And it's not people being mean when they say it. It's not people being hateful or not inclusive or whatever. It's there actually needs to be more of a conversation about being unhealthy. Because I'll tell you what.
And where
I did not see a single, let me say this right now. I did not see a single overweight person in Amsterdam. Not a single one.
And you know how heartbreaking that is? Definitely working or being in the hospital setting. And that's what our floors are filled of, pretty much.
Well, I was just talking about
and
this.
It's so sad because you can tell. It's just so heartbreaking to
because
see.
You understand that their life could have been, life could be more.
So much more.
And then the people, you deserve more.
Yeah.
And there's no shame. Like at any stage of your life, at any form, you should always have self-love and you should always be like happy with yourself.
Yeah.
But it comes down to accountability and awareness.
Yeah.
That you could be happier and you could be living a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes from a podcast, I can't think of the podcast name, but I love them. They have the conversations that people get judged for, and but they're doing it so genuinely. They're like, we're sorry, the world is scared to talk about this, and society is softening to the point that it's like, oh my God, you shouldn't say that. Like, how dare you say that? Like, they're like, fuck you, we're gonna say it. And he said a happy, fulfilled person has a calm mind, a healthy, fit body, and self-love, or something like that. Yeah. There was like a third. And I was like, that is so like, I thought I was living life when I was unhealthy. Now that I'm getting healthier, I'm like, wow, like summer hits different. Like I feel so much better in the summer. I've had such a better summer this summer than I have had any other summers. Like it's not all about physical appearance, but your body is a vessel. If you're not taking care of the body that you're in, you are going to face difficulties in life. And for example, when we got hit with the pandemic, COVID itself wasn't, I don't want to speak like I'm not a doctor, but from things that I've said and like read, for the most part, COVID wasn't so lethal because of COVID by itself, but of the other like immunity problems and things that people face.
COVID was triggering like autoimmune
and a lot of and it hit a lot of unhealthy people, and that's why people were dying. Don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying like, oh well, if you were healthier then you would have lived. I'm not saying that. Like it should never happen. Nobody should die from a disease. Like that's not. But also the country that you're living in is doing things so that when you get hit with a disease like that, you are dying because they're not giving you the proper food and stuff and the nutrients that we are so deficient in nutrients. And to give you an example, and I don't know how this is in other countries, but the reason that people have such bad allergies, like we're just in the States, is because when you plant trees, you're supposed to plant them female and male together. The female bears fruit and the male bears the pollen that helps the fruit grow. In America, they don't allow female plants to be planted because they say like it would mess up the beautification of the streets and like make it messy, and then obviously it's like free food for people. So they only plant male. Now I'm not know if I'm getting the genders right, but the basics of this is right. So they only have male ones. So there's all that pollen and nowhere for it to naturally go because it's supposed to be absorbed by the female plants. So you're overpowered with pollen.
So if my long lost cousin's family that live in Italy, can I come live with you guys? Sounds great.
It was really eye-opening to leave, and like a lot of things, and everybody's walking and everybody's talking. Nobody was on their phone unless they were on a phone call. Everybody's like handed up, like whatever. There was old ladies riding their bikes at 12 a.m. like having fun, singing. It's just it's a quality of life thing. You can live a happy life at any stage, but there is a quality level of, if you are fully taking care of yourself physically and mentally, your life is going to be better. And I think that, I don't even know how we got there.
It all comes down to confidence too, and what you tell yourself. And if you think, because we were saying, when you tell people you feel a certain way in a negative way, you're going to constantly feel like that. But if you're self-aware and
lie to yourself.
Lie
to yourself. Lie to yourself.
It's okay to lie to yourself, but don't.
To an extent. You guys should understand what we're saying. Delulu until Trululu. Lie to yourself in the terms of telling yourself you were at your goal everything until you were at your goal everything. And when you hit that, make up new lies to yourself and just keep doing that. Something else I just want to give a little tidbit. I told myself I was going to go to the gym every day for 2 years. And every day I would tell myself, you go tomorrow, you go tomorrow. I eventually, woke up one morning and worked out with Angelina, and that kickstarted that. So it's always good to like find somebody to do it with. But before that, I started just walking. Even if it was just around my block, I just started walking. Even if it was taking stairs instead of the elevator, excavator, whatever the fuck, all the other things. And anything like any workout or whatever you want to do, you do not need a gym membership for. Please go on YouTube. There's everything. The only time I ever like suggest a gym membership is when you're at the point that you want to use machines. Up until then, you can do everything for your health journey at home.
Yep.
So don't worry about having, I'm scared to do it in front of people. I'm scared. You go into TikTok and you see this girl's dream routine. Please know that she built that routine after months and years and stuff of getting confidence for the gym. I wanted to read depression stats real quick before we wrap up this podcast episode. We do have to read some anonymous submission because to kind of tie it in that everything that we're kind of talking about and what you experience, you do not experience it alone, like at all. And there's a reason because of that, if that makes sense. About 5% of adults globally have depression. That number is likely even higher. It's not everyone who has depression obtains an official diagnosis. That is over 405 million people say that they have depression. Hear that again. 405 million plus people. People who have an immediate family member living with depression may have a 2 to 3 times greater risk of having depression because you are who you surround yourself with. When you are growing up in an environment that is depressing and things like that, you are more likely, because it is a mindset, if I can make that make sense. It is a feeling. It is not something in statute. It is not something you have to feel. It's not something that it is a physical thing. It is a feeling or emotions that 100% can be changed, but you have to want to change them.
Especially as a child.
Yes.
Because if you're constantly seeing your family member like that when you even live with them, that is how you're going to look. As a child, you look up to...
Children are 100% products of their environment.
Yes.
100%. Yep. But the thing about it is I was a product of...
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine. I literally do it all the time to everybody, and I try not to, so it's fine. Makes me feel better about doing it. I was a product of my environment, and at the age of 21, I decided I'm changing who I am, and I completely changed everything. So yes, we are product of our environments, but don't let that discourage you, because if you want it bad enough, and if you want to live your dream life and you want to be at your highest peak all the time with no plateau, like we were talking about earlier, you have to want that. Yeah. And in terms of, you have to want to look at life not in a depressive lens. Things do not depress me anymore. I do not let it. Depression is not a thing to me, because nothing is that bad. Yeah. Nothing's going to ruin my life for the rest of my life. This is going to sound so crazy. And this is just the first thing I thought of, because this would actually really put me through it, a moment. Say something got leaked, private photos got leaked. That would make me down bad. But at the end of the day, it's going to be in the past eventually. I just got to get through it. Fuck that shit, there's things that happen. Somebody passes away. It's so sad. And I'm really, really sad about this, but I know that it's okay. There's going to be better days. There's going to be, you just have to, know that there is going to be better days. Things do not stay bad forever, especially if you silver line it. And if you don't know what silver lining is, head over to some of our other podcast episodes and clips, because that is something big we talk about here. People who have reported their racial, I'm going to read these two back to back, and because I think they tie together. People who reported their racial identity as 2 or more races had the highest prevalence of major depressive episodes at 15.9%, and young adults aged 18 to 25 are at the highest risk of a major depressive episode per a report from the National Institute of Mental Health. That is because when people are made to think that they have to conform into a little box, and nobody is ever meant to conform in a little box, a lot of the time it puts people in these depressive episodes, because you don't understand why you're not checking all the boxes, all the marks off for that box. Why am I not, okay, I have to be this straight male. you know, you might be a little sassy, you might be a little bit, oh my God, but everybody's so masculine. I have to be so masculine. Oh my God, I'm not masculine. I'm depressed. Like, why am I like this? What's wrong with me? You know, not that I liked, but when it talks about two or more races, for mixed people, you're too white for black people and you're too black for white people. Like, and I've gotten that my whole life. Like, to everybody that's, you know, black people will always be like, oh yeah, white girl. Oh yeah, white girl. Like, whatever.
I don't understand that. I never have.
Like, why people do that? Or
no, like, I just don't understand the hate of it. Like, why does it matter that
because you can't be put into a single box because you're more than one thing.
Yeah.
But the truth of the reality is we are all more than one thing. Yeah. So nobody's actually, there shouldn't be boxes and there shouldn't be labels. But, and then at the ages of 18 to 25, that's the ages that you're really starting to find yourself. You're going to college, maybe you're moving out, you're doing whatever. And there's even that harder pressure of, you need to find out who you are, what box do you belong into? And that's the age where you start to realize that you're not fitting into boxes, and you're not fitting in the boxes that you thought you might have in high school or like in middle school. So those kind of tying together of, you know, when you're getting into depressive episodes, ask yourself, is it because you're not fitting into a specific little box?
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, do you really want to be in that box anyway? Because I'll tell you what, my box is called Tyler Kidd, and all of myself fits in it, and all the parts that don't explode out, and it's a bomb. And it's also really peaceful, and it's everything. And there's no tallies, there's no anything. I'm just myself. And that's how people should be viewed. You shouldn't have to worry about being mid-size, thick, skinny, white, black, whatever. Like, you're just you. My name is Tyler, and this is what I like, and this is what I do. Yeah. And ha ha he he. You know? And then also, depression is more common in people who give birth. 10% of pregnant people and people who have just given birth experience depression, according to the World Health Organization. And then I tried to look up what birth does to the female brain that brings depression. And when I tell you there's really not shit about it, it's so understudied, it's insane. So people just say, oh, it's postpartum. But okay, but what is postpartum, and why does it happen? And why does it happen to a lot of women?
Yeah, and it's not talked about enough. And I know I constantly always talk about postpartum and being a mom, but it really opened up my eyes because of things that I went through and like hearing other mothers' stories. And when you go back after you give birth, I gave a if you don't know, I gave a natural birth. I gave a natural birth. I had one doctor's appointment I had to attend 6 weeks after I had birth to a child, and my daughter had like 5. What? Like, of course the baby's gonna have, but why is a woman who just went through
a massive change,
especially if you're getting a C-section? I don't know if it's different, but I'm pretty sure
it was. My mom struggled really bad, especially with her tissue in her abdomen separated and will never be able to really go back. Yeah. So like there's like a hard mass there. Your body completely, you grew a human being.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure with the C-section you only have one doctor's appointment as well. Why is that? What in people's...
Where are the mental health checks? Where are the anything?
Yes, they do have you fill out a paper, blah, 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 whatever. But they could be freaking lying, because I know damn well when they asked me if I had anxiety, I was like, nah, I love life.
Yeah, no.
I love my life. And I probably did love my life in that moment at the doctor's appointment. I wasn't thinking about... like all the things.
You're also not taught about it. How would you even pick up on something like that? Like, it's not talked about enough. It's not studied enough. Why, when women give birth, what happens mentally and physically? And yes, and exactly. And you're telling me that you do all these studies and you come out with all these things. You have how many birth control options for us? You have how much whatever we could take, but you don't have any type of sources to help when the hormones get so unbalanced that women want to die because they gave birth. There's women who give birth to their babies and their hormones and everything goes so off the charts that they don't even believe that their baby is their baby. I forget what it's called. It's like a syndrome.
Psychosis?
Something like that, where they literally feel like their baby's not their baby.
Yeah, there's many. It's like pregnancy psychosis where you want to like you just go freaking crazy, and there's a lot of things that can happen to a woman. And this is also what's crazy in America, because going back to our topic about how things are different in other countries, in America you get like 12 weeks off.
No, they don't care about your health.
Oh,
They don't care about your
then,
wellness.
And then in other countries, it's like 6 months to a year,
And it's
because
paid.
it's paid, and it also takes. If you dive into how long it takes a woman's body, and it will never go back to normal. Their hormones will never be how they were.
Don't you have like things running in your
pregnancy.
system too that are always different? Like
But
your
like for them to balance out, it takes 12 to 24 months.
a year to 2 years.
Yeah.
So they give you that year, half a year to a year to really, work on your
Work on yourself, spend time with your baby, because
connect.
that's what they need. They need that bonding time with their mom.
Like imagine giving birth and immediately you have to think about your bills, your debts, your everything, because it's so expensive to have a baby too. Yeah. You get charged for skin on skin contact with something you pushed out of your hoo-ha. You have me so messed up if you think I'm going to pay you to touch my kid's skin on skin.
Yeah. It's just
It's a money business to them. It's not that they actually care about the well-being of the person. You just made them another little machine to put to work.
and it breaks my heart because I know there's such good doctors and surgeons out there, but there's more bad ones, I feel like, at the end of the day, because there could be you know what it is. The get well soon is gonna change the freaking world, and you guys are all
Period.
gonna look back at this.
She's finally getting it. She's finally getting it. Actually, real quick, just to wrap this up, and then we'll do peek and pit and outro. Sorry to the person in our Reddit's DMs. We're gonna get to you. I also peeped that you started deleting messages, but I screenshotted them, so I'm gonna be answering all your original things because you called me out. You said Tyler answer, and then you deleted it. Like, no, now I'm gonna answer. Okay. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm scared. Okay, guys, we have to talk quietly.
Okay.
There might be people.
Yeah.
Or intruders.
All right.
But we could go on and on about this, and we will go on and on, because I think I might look like a beluga whale right now, you guys. Just want to say that I'm not. I just felt like I looked at myself on camera and it was a little beluga.
Oh my God! Stop.
Yeah, I really, what an episode to say that in, but I'm gonna keep it in because that was a real thought that I had. But like, even if
it's okay, because in the beginning of the episode I was like this, like fixing my shirt.
But even if I looked like this right now, and even if on camera I do look heavy, okay, period. Because I know that I'm not. And even if, whatever. Yada, yada. But yeah, I was going to say we'll be talking more because we're going into a second season. I'm not going to tell you guys the season 2 name yet, but just know that it correlates. It does correlate. But yeah, let's do real quick. We don't have to dive in, but I'm just going to say my peak of today was filming because it's been a little bit.
Me too.
And I felt really good this morning. I filmed some things like for TikTok and stuff. And it was a really good start to my day. And I don't have anything else scheduled. So I can just go home and like do my to-dos. And then my pit was the fact that my car battery has been telling me that I need to get a replacement. And I haven't. So today when I went to go get in my car, my key wasn't working. So then I proceeded to use my app on my phone that can like unlock and start my car. And I unlocked it. But it's pouring rain and it takes about 8 minutes for the freaking app to work. So I'm sitting out in the pouring rain, finally get into my car. Then my car push to start won't work. So then I go back to the app. I start my car. I realize I left my drink inside. So I close the door. I run into my house, come back out. My car doors are locked with my phone inside, with the car running. I'm like, and it's pouring rain. I'm like, you have to be shitting me. I'm like literally yanking on the handle. I'm trying the trunk. Nothing's opening. And I'm like, oh my God, like my keys are inside. My phone is inside the car. Everything is inside the car right now. And the scarier thought was, what do I do when my mom needs to leave for work? And I'm like, wait, ding, 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 ding. I have a spare key. So I run inside, whatever. I find the spare key. I go back out. It's not connecting to the car. I'm like, there's just no way. Like my music is blaring. I'm overstimulated. It's raining. I was finally on time for something once in my fucking life was getting here this morning. And I'm locked out of my car that's running with my phone inside. And finally the spare key synced up with my car and it was like, beep, beep. I was like, get in there. And so I gotta go.
You know what you're gonna do after this episode? You're gonna go to the car store and go get yourself a key.
I just don't like. I just hate inconvenience. Like, I don't want to have to go do that and like spend $8. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I feel like today's just gonna be a really good day. I feel good. I did my makeup this morning.
That's always a good feeling.
Doing your makeup and like everything like that. Yeah.
Love that.
All right. What's your pit and then peak?
My peak is this episode, and also, my pit is,
Oh,
and my drink.
that
Actually, that was like, my peak is actually getting the fixer-upper today because...
Well, now it doesn't feel real because I had to say, oh. And now it looks like I'm, like, holding a gun to your head, like, say good things.
No, it really was.
You guys have to see, I filmed a TikTok of her genuine reaction because I, like, planned the surprise or whatever, and it was really cute.
That's what I mean, though. It was part of the episode because we were, like, coming to record. So,
yeah.
You know what? My damn drink is my peak because it's going to make today better. Because for some reason, I keep yawning. I don't know why. I've been up for hours. And my pit is I'm burnt out, but I gotta keep going because I'm almost done. So, but we're gonna.
And then you'll get a good rest. You'll get a good recharge.
I get a good 3 weeks, and then back into hell.
There we go. It's not hell. She's just kidding, you guys. Nursing school's an amazing opportunity, and you get really good friends from it, and you become a medical genius, and also. Just know that it's a great place to go. Yes.
Yeah. Woo.
Woo woo. We'll see you guys next Sunday at 11 a.m. EST. If you're in other places, because we are getting listened to everywhere.
Yeah.
Whenever that is for you. Hello.
The final weeks are coming up on our summer merch. If you have not purchased yet, purchase your summer merch. Definitely the Beer Me shirt because that is a hit. And also our girl, why am I blanking right now? The Happy Place shirt, that is really a hit too.
The female shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it is just Happy Place t-shirt or summer merch. We have a bunch of options.
Bunch of things, and everything's just vibing right now. And
it's affordable. We made it so affordable for you guys. The material's amazing. Everybody loves it. Final weeks of that, and you might not know. Well, you don't know what I'm talking about when I say this, but it actually most likely will be the last time you will ever get the shirts. It might not be coming back next summer. So if you want to get your hands on it, get it on because it is going to be an exclusive item drop. And
wait a second, we didn't talk about this yet.
Yeah. Okay. Love you guys.
Have
an amazing Sunday, you guys.
Bye.